Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to the Naturally Yours podcast. I am your host, Ty the Natural, and on today I have a very, very, very special and beautiful guest. She is a mother, she is a wife, she is a boss lady, she is a producer for TV and film, and she is an investor. So, help me welcome the beautiful and unique Lady C Prince.
Hey Ty. Hey everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You are so welcome. How are you doing today?
I am doing so well. And yourself?
I am blessed, sis. I am blessed. I can't complain. God is good every day. So I'm doing good. I'm happy that you are here. I'm so excited.
Yes, it just seemed like, it was yesterday.
Yes, and you look absolutely beautiful.
I appreciate it. I decided I was going to wear your brand colors, so I put on little turquoise and orange. That's what I seen, just currently. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and grace her with her brand colors.
I love it. I love it. It looks beautiful on you. I love that eyeshadow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So, Miss Lady C Prince, for the people who are not aware of you yet or are not familiar with you, why don't you give us a brief introduction of who you are?
Well, like you said, my name is Lady C Prince, and people think that's just like an alias or a stage name, but my name is actually Lady Shantae Prince. And I am a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a marketplace business brand owner, I'm a multi-level mediaologist, and more.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell them. I'm so proud of you. All your
Thank
accolades.
you.
You are the boss lady for
I
sure.
appreciate it. Yes. And you don't expect in this big old globe for everybody to know you, little speck of me. But a lot of times when people are introduced to me or I'm introduced to them, they always think I'm like a one night wonder or overnight, hitter or success. But it's been 20 years for me in the same line of business, in the same industry, in the same business formation, 20 years.
Yes, which is amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. You definitely deserve your flowers, sis.
I appreciate
You're
it.
killing this industry. And more people need to know about it. So we doing that right now.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited about the invitations that are coming my way. I don't, I've done it for so many people over the lifespan of being in media for 9 years in magazine. And so when people come to me about this opportunity, I hop on like a kid in a candy store.
Yes, as you should.
Yes.
As you should.
Mm-hmm.
Are you suffering from breakage, dryness, or maybe a lack of a hair regimen? Well, if so, purchase your Texture Hair 101 ebook today and never suffer again. Learn everything that you need to learn right inside of this book today. Grab yours now. So let's get into a little bit of your story, Lady C.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us a little bit, I'm sure you went to college, right? To get into TV films?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start right there. So let's talk about when you graduated high school and then from there.
Okay, so I am originally born and raised from Los Angeles, California. So
Okay.
I am from the city of actual stars and angels. That's what they like to say. And basically, just being from LA and just being born into the family I was born into, anything that had to do with like lights, camera, action, entertainment, talent, I was always somewhere in the midst, right? It was either directly or indirectly. So I actually went to school after I graduated from high school. I graduated in 1993. So that tells you right there that I'm getting close to 50.
And you still look good, girl.
Yes. And so I graduated in 1993 and I ended up going to school for a medical assistant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, they gave us like the front and the back office. So, doing internships and trying to figure out, my niche in the medical industry, I actually loved front office administration more than, giving vena pictures and shots and taking blood pressure and stuff. So I end up flowing in the front office administration, not knowing all of these decades later that administration is actually a gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I loved, doing the marketing, anything that had to do with the front desk, anything that had to do with serving other people. And it kind of just led me starting my own business from the medical industry, and then doing marketing, and then doing media, print campaigns, and design for physicians. And then it turned into artists, and then it turned into athletes, and then just got a clearing call to start a magazine. So when I started magazine, that was like really the journey of learning that I have a purpose in media, and a purpose in productions. And so magazine was actually like the handle to my media door.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That's. Whoa, I wouldn't have seen that coming, girl. So
right.
let me ask you this. Did you have to learn those skills to be able to help the physicians, or did you already know like that information, like how to make graphics and all of that?
Well, it just kind of came upon me osmosis, because back in the day, decades ago, you were required to know like Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, and something about me, like I always, I write really well or whatever. So anytime I would put my hands to something, it
Mm-hmm.
would be always next level. I couldn't just always receive like a letterhead that was just mundane, right? So I always learned fonts and learned, images and illustrations and stuff just by osmosis. And it's something that I became really good in, especially when I got into magazine, because, I'm laying out pages, I'm putting together stories and laying out features. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how I really start getting good in that area.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mhm.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about after you got artists. Like, where'd that come from? How'd the artists get into the game?
Well, once again, through marketing, we didn't really have social media. So, word of mouth, basically designing flyers. I've always been subject to a certain caliber of persons, and
Okay.
they've always come from those particular kind of industries, whether they were family members or friends or people that, I don't know, just knew what I did, right?
Right.
So one time I had this artist, and I really, truly, and honestly can't really tell you how this happened, but maybe Facebook, right?
Okay.
I have started maybe flyers or something on Facebook, because you start off doing business cards, which is the entry level to design,
Mm-hmm.
and you start doing business cards for people. And this artist had contacted me and was like, yeah, I want you to design my album cover. I want you to design my flyers. And doing that, he started asking me, okay, well, can you represent me? Because, I have that skill set too, about representing people, going before them and getting them into actual places booked and managing calendars and stuff. So I started doing it for the artists, and that's how I got really good, and it just started attracting more people.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all about who you know, right?
Sometimes they do say that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So, what happened? Um, as you started, helping more artists, and you developed into being a producer. Where did that come from? How did you get into that lane?
Okay, so that actually came from my husband. I like to give him a little credit because everybody always see me and they always say, oh, Lady C Prince owned this and she owned that. But actually, you know, the vision when it comes to broadcasting and getting into radio and TV, that came from my husband. So my husband had been a college campus pastor ever since I've known him. It's been 17, almost 20 years. And my
shout
husband,
out to hubby.
so I know he came to me one time and was like, you know, God's telling me to start a radio broadcast. So me and him ends up, when he told me about his vision, automatically I was like, oh, I'm a part of that vision, you know?
Right.
And I actually heard his vision. I believed his vision, and something in me leaped and took the vision and began to execute it. I laid out like the whole platform. I built out the platform, and we started a radio block radio podcast in Kansas City, Kansas, about 12 years ago.
Gotcha. Is
Mm-hmm.
that podcast still going, or?
Well, that's how I got into productions, because after you know, few years of doing the podcast, it was a podcast about faith, family, and finances called Faith Talk.
Okay.
And I had got into magazine too, so I had a TV network in the South Coast regions. They contacted me and said, you know, we want your show. And I was like, well, my show is not a television show, it's a radio show. So she was like, okay, good. Like, we want to give you a television contract for your show. And I basically was like, oh, well, you know, how do we qualify our shows to as a radio to become a television show? Because back then podcast wasn't as popular as it is now.
Right.
And so she was like, okay, I'm going to give you the specs on how to convert the show into a television show. So me and my husband, we do that all the time. Anytime it comes to my skill set, we invest into like the resources and the tools and stuff and the devices. So we have bought like a whole 10 by 10 foot studio, and we put it in our living room. And so we began to take our radio shows and do it as a television show. So I would send them the content back, the raw footage. And she would send it back to me like, no, like we need the edited version. And I was like, edited version? Like, ain't you guys gonna do that for us? And she was like, no, you're gonna do it, you know? So I was like, wow. So the first time I edited my show, I was like, oh, this is what I do in magazine. But instead, I'm doing that in print. Now I need to do this in visual video.
Mm-hmm.
So I started editing our own shows, got awarded the contract, and from there, it's been productions the whole time.
That's amazing, sis. That's amazing.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your shows, because you have multiple shows, right, sis?
I do. So literally, I started off, it was just me and my husband, and then I ended up connecting with another young lady when I moved to Texas, and I moved to Texas about 7 years ago. Okay. And when I moved here, our chemistry was just like everything. People was thinking that we ran together, or we were like actually a package business, right? And from there, she decided that she was going to, she had like an entertainment company where she hosts shows and stuff. And she said she was going to get into broadcasting. And so I was like, oh, okay. She never knew that I already had a TV show or whatever. And so prayed about it and ended up helping her get through broadcasting school, because me and my husband wanted to give her our shows to put on the Houston channels. And me and her, nobody ever knew, but I used to bring all of the shows, all of the broadcasters to her, and we would start producing people's stuff. And so we have co-produced a documentary press run here in Houston called, it was like these women who went to the federal penitentiary, and when they all got out as millionaires, like moguls. And they all spent like years in the penitentiary, but that wasn't really their story. Their story was how they stayed focused on their business and came out and became millionaires. So we did a documentary press run on them, and we, put it on the channels. And so we had did that. And when people found out that, I was the producer, then other people started coming to me asking me if I can produce their show. So now at this particular time, I don't know, about 12 broadcasters. Some of the shows I don't produce. I actually just am their placement producer. But for the most part, I have about 12 broadcasts on our channel.
That's amazing, sis. Congratulations on all the channels, sis. That's big stuff, big things right there.
Exactly. And I'm taking over channels. And when I say I'm taking over channels, I own a lot of airtime as a certified producer, because there is a difference. I'm not a videographer. I'm not a photographer. I'm an actual TV producer, editor. And now, I'm going for more channels so that, shows and content can be placed everywhere, because, we have streaming, digital, linear, cable TV, and it's just so easy for people to be watched and seen anywhere.
Yes, absolutely. Streaming is not going nowhere.
Right.
Yes. Eventually, it's going to be nothing but streaming.
Yes, and it's going to be at your preference, on demand, live TV, stream wherever you are, kind of thing. So
yes. So tell me this: where do you see your TV and film business in 5 years?
So now, I feel very successful in my own rights, because I never really dreamed that this was, how far I would ever get or something that I would ever do. But I learned that, the reason why I look at the way I look at stuff, because sometimes I have gotten in trouble with people thinking that I'm perceiving them one way, and I'm actually, my mind is thinking another way. And that's because I'm learning through, mentors and people who actually produce Netflix films and stuff, that I am a film actual maker. So in 5 years, I have a reality show that is my total focus now.
Okay.
Yes, and I've been filming that one for about 2 years. We do have a contract on Spectrum, Channel 16, 2-year contract, and it's called Women in the Boardroom. I see myself in 5 years still developing and still having that as actually my baby. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll be full reality TV, I hope.
Without the drama.
No, and that's one trajectory. That's why my course may be a little more challenging to get it to the major networks, which I did produce it and package it for that sort. So when you look at it, it's up to par, it's current. You can still get that same vibe of reality TV. But one thing I did keep out is the drama. We're changing the trajectory of Black and brown women tearing each other down. And yeah, but we do have strong, all the women that I have casted for this, and I've been through at least 40 rounds of women. We all have businesses that are sometimes male dominant kind of companies, and we've been in our businesses for at least 10 years. So we know our business. So when we come together, our skill sets are strong. Our arguments, so you can't really tell me some things about what I do and how I function in business, because I know my business. I built it from ground up. So that's probably the main kind of drama you will see, is us just really having strong arguments about our skill sets.
Gotcha. Yeah. Which is, there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at
Yep, you're
all.
just getting different perspectives. That's all.
For sure.
So tell me this, Miss Lady C, do you have besides your lady in the boardroom, do you have anything else that you have coming up within your business, or anything that you're connected to, like magazines or anything like that?
Well, I've been trying to come out of magazine. I've been in magazine for 9 years. I started off publishing 2 magazines that I own, and then I end up having 9 around the globe that I published for 7 other people. And so
That's amazing. You can't just go
yeah,
over that. Like, that's amazing.
yeah,
That's
that is
amazing.
amazing because I like to share this little bit of the story with people about that is because publishers don't produce magazines for other people. But I've never been the kind of person that has been in competition or has been in any type of lane where, I can't do something for somebody else that I've done for myself, especially if I know it is successful, right?
Right.
So I began to do that for other people because, they asked me like, hey, would you publish our magazine? They started contributing to mine and supporting mine. Would you publish my concept of magazine? So I started doing it because they helped me pivot in and scaling my magazine company and then pivoting into more profit, right?
Right.
So I've been trying to come out of magazine for the last 2 years, but it seemed like every time I try to come out, here comes somebody suggesting and I get it done for them. And so literally magazine, I'm really coming out of it. I only do it for selective people. Right now, I just got one person that I'm doing it for, and I do it for the woman in the boardroom. We have a magazine as well. And so that's a periodical, so it only come out every so often. But really, I'm moving fervently into real estate.
Okay.
Yep. I'm moving into real estate. I have been, taking my investor courses and really, getting myself, in position to really just go 100% real estate. I want to be an investor. I
Yes.
want to be a private money lender. I got some other projects that I want to actually build from the ground up. So that's what I'm working on.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Especially being a private money lender, because people need that. People
Yeah,
need private money lenders because,
they
the
do.
banks be trying to not let nobody get anything. So,
Well, it's showing set up for us,
right.
after going through several processes of being denied, having to, pull teeth to make, things even get pre-approved. And that's just something that I'm like, I believe that land and houses
Hmm.
is our promise. It's something that we should be owning and dominating. But the systems, unfortunately, is not always set up for us to win. And so, in my perspective, I'm a grandmother, I'm a grandma, and I'm creating generational wealth. And that's like the main way that I see that I'm going to be able to cash the cow for my generation.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I want to help other people because it's
Right.
ridiculous how, you get turned down for the craziest little things. And, yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you, sis. I agree with you.
Mhm.
And shout out to you for being
Yay,
a blessing to somebody else.
for sure.
And you know what? That's a great idea. So when I definitely get my bag right, I definitely want to do the same, be a private money lender.
Yeah,
Um,
start from that ground right there. I mean, it'll be a little more intense and challenging because you do got to come with the money. You do
right.
got to come with the the infrastructure of a financial system or whatever. But the thing about it is, I know you need to be a realtor because see, I would have been a great realtor and agent 25 years ago, but I got a gang of kids now. I got a whole bunch of responsibility. I'm really engulfed into productions and media. So, like for me, I don't really have the time, because they say it's a lot of labor and toil now for them. For realtors, it's a lot of work. And so I just decided that I was going to find my niche.
Okay. I don't blame you, sis. I don't blame
Mm-hmm.
you one bit.
Yeah.
So I do have a question.
Okay.
So what is something you would recommend to someone that is looking to get into production, to TV, that hasn't been to school?
Okay. So I think when it comes to productions, at the end of the night, it's a broad scope of that you can get into. And literally, like if you want to get into the side of the technical side, I think it's very important because I had to take courses and I had to take classes to understand total production. So that includes cameras, lights, set, and all of the above. Just, really find out what area you want to work in. And matter of fact, try to volunteer, do some internships in those particular areas because we're always looking for people, whether it's, cast or whether it's gaffers, whether it's camera people, and go and see if you can volunteer or if you can do an internship and learn the areas that you want to focus in. And then once you do that, I do think it's education, higher learning is everything. Centering yourselves around information and knowledge that's going to build up your skill set, and doing projects of your own, hands on, and not being afraid to put it out there. Don't sit on that stuff because I know now with all of the technology and the internet that we have, you don't have to sit on anything. Even if you don't think it's perfect or is good, I would say to continue to show, your art, continue to show your creativity, and continue to learn.
Absolutely. Because if you ain't learning, you pretty much dying.
Yeah. If you ain't learning, you ain't earning.
You right about that, sis.
Mm-hmm. And in the learning, it's a burn, because like sometimes we don't be wanting to study all of this stuff, but just to get the knowledge and the information, I mean, now you can get it from anywhere. Like it's not even whatever applies to you, take it, and whatever don't, just distract it and put it where it's supposed to go. But get on somewhere, Google, SEO, get on YouTube, get somewhere and get the information.
Exactly. So, one of my last questions is, what have you found very challenging in your niche that you've overcome?
Okay, so let's see. I thrive under challenges, and that doesn't make me superhuman or whatever. So challenges actually thrive me. But I would say lately, since going through all of these personalities, that has been one of the challenging things to steward. Just dealing with people basically. At the end of the night, it's not things, it's not places, it's people that you have to learn how to manage and how to control and carry yourself or whatever. So that's one of the things that literally causes my network and my database and my Rolodex to be strong, because I've learned the art and the science of people.
Yes. Yeah, you've mastered people.
Uh-huh.
That's a high skill.
Yes.
That's a high skill. Because understanding people is everything.
Yeah, that is true. And everybody has an opinion, everybody has a perspective, everybody has a way of thinking that their way is the only way sometimes. And people think that their truth is the truth.
Right.
So when you learn that people is going to be who they're going to be, let them be who they're going to be, and accept them for who they are, and don't allow them to distract, distort, or get in your way of who you are and what you're supposed to do.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Stay tunnel vision on yourself.
Yes. For sure. And keep it real. Like, I
Okay.
don't know what that mean no more because, lights, camera, action. I mean, there's some things that we do and that's not scripted, but we have to do it so that these lights, camera, and action can catch us in our best, image or whatever. But for the most part, just be your authentic selves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. What she said.
Check mark.
Yes, ma'am. So, Miss Lady C, Prince, why don't you tell the audience where they can find you, um, where, you may have things going on, um, where you may sell things, anything. Tell them where they can find you at, sis.
Okay. So for me, I am building up my own personal brand finally, which is Lady C Prince. So you can find me on Instagram. That's where I like to be because I like to, be Instagram mama over there, and I like to show off like my little reels and stuff like that. So find me on Instagram. I'm really nowhere else but there. I mean, you start putting my name or putting some of the things that I've done, it'll all lead to me in some kind of way. Or you can visit our TV site, which is streaming with my show and other shows and broadcasters at stream20tv.live.
Stream20.tv.live.
So stream20tv.live.
Thank you, sis. Y'all
Yes,
heard
and
it.
lavish layout too as well. That's where all the content creation comes directly from me. I don't control the page a lot, but all the content is actually from me. I lavish layout.
And it's definitely lavish. So
Oh,
make
thank
sure y'all get
you.
over there and follow my sis. She got
Yes,
great things going on. Make sure y'all check out her shows, add it to your favorites, and make sure
yes.
y'all get on there and support because we need to support all of our Black owned businesses.
Yes, that
So,
is so good. That is so vital, so essential. And thank you so much. Like, I'm super proud of you. If I could just put a pin on me right now, you actually are like a light bulb that I look forward to your comments and just your compliments. And I'm just proud of what you're doing and continue to get that thing up and going and running and out there. And whatever I could do to support you, let me know.
thank you, sis. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'm working. It's God. It's God leading both of us. So
Yes.
I all
Into
glory to
these
Him.
conversations, huh? Yes. Okay. For sure. For sure. It's him and he gonna get the glory.
Yes, all day long. All day
Yes.
long. Well, guys, this has been another episode of the Naturally Yours podcast with my lovely guest, Miss Lady C Prince. Make sure y'all get over there and follow her. Thank you again for blessing me with some of your time, Miss Lady C. I love you and much
Love
love to
you.
you.
Okay.
And I'm going to catch
Okay.
y'all on the next episode. Peace.